things. Everything has an order. The days of the week are in order. The months of the year are in order. The numbers are in a sequence. The alphabet is in a sequence. An event is something that happens. An event is something big that happens. An event is something big, like a party. An event is something big, like a football game. An event is something big that happened in the story. Stories have a sequence. Every story has events. Sequence of events. When we tell a story, it is important to remember the sequence of events. If you get the events out of order, it will change the story. What if Goldilocks had showed up before the bears left on their walk? That would change the story. What if the big bad wolf had come to the little pigs before they built their house? That would have changed the story. Sequence of events is important when we are retelling a story. If that wolf had come when that mile was around, he would have gotten a timeout. He was a naughty wolf. When we retell a story, we need to be sure to use words to let people know we know the sequence of events. We need to tell the story in the right order. Then people will know we understand the story. I'm going to tell the story of my day. Look, the sequence of events is out of order, but I will put it in order. One day, I woke up. First, I brushed my teeth. Next, I ate breakfast. And then I had lunch. In the end, I went to sleep. The sequence of events are in the words of a story, not the pictures. You must understand the words. Don't just look at the pictures. The words are where all the events happen. Sequence of events. Sequence of events. I can tell you the sequence of events.
Okay guys, just like you saw in the video, the kids did a really good job of explaining how we retell a story, putting the sequence of events in the correct order. So you guys are going to do that. They did a really good job explaining it in the video and explaining those words that help tell order or tell a sequence. And they also made sure that we talked about how it's so important to keep the events in the story in the correct order. If you change the events in the story or put the events in a different order, it totally changes the meaning of the story. So think about our story for the week, The Journey of Oliver K. Woodman. Okay? You are going to read the story and you're going to retell it. Making sure to put the sequence of events in the correct order. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use a thinking map called a flow map to put the events in the order that they happen in the story. And this is what a flow map looks like right here. It's just basically a series of boxes, and the arrows show the flow or the order the boxes go in. And each box is going to have a certain event from the story. And once you're done writing down and explaining the events of the story, you're going to create this flow map to show the sequence of events. Sequencing, again, like it said in the video, is when we put things in order. Think about those clue words like it talked about in the video. First, next, then, and finally. Finally also means last, so you could use either of those words. So, today when you are finished reading your story, you will have the page. Trying to find it here. You will have the page that looks like this, okay? With all 4 boxes. Notice our sequence words are already written on the boxes. And you're going to cut those apart. And you're going to write about the sequence of events. You can draw a picture in the space at the top, but below you're writing about the main events in the story. And when you're done, you'll cut those apart and you're going to create a flow map. So you're going to say first, and down here you're going to write about what happened first in the story. Next, and below you'll write about what happened next in the story of Oliver K. Woodman, the journey of Oliver K. Woodman. Then you'll write about what happens in the next part of the story. And then this little square here is where you're going to write about the final events of the story. So you'll glue them in order and create a flow map to retell the sequence of events. Make sure you add your arrows once you've glued down your boxes. It's a little too big. The arrows again tell the reader how these events flow. What direction are we going? Where do we start? We start with this, and we flow down the row like this in the direction the arrow is pointing. So when you're finished with your flow map, make sure to give it a title. So make sure you write a title for your flow map and make sure your name is on it. When you're done, we will look at our flow maps together when we're done with reading groups and kind of see how well we did putting the major events from the story in the correct order.